Time to make really good movies again, and I think this is just before you even talk, before he even asks me any questions, I will just say to you that for me, this is the best role I've ever had, and it's one of the best movies I've ever done.
Yeah!
You know, Paul, what really struck me most about this film was writer-director David Rodriguez's, I think, unique portrayal, I guess, of these tropes, these mob tropes, these mafia tropes that you see in a lot of these films. And so I guess my first question for you is, what was it like playing a character sort of faced with the reality of the whole world having moved on without him? And then in addition, this question is for both of you guys, what was the collaboration like between you and David Rodriguez to help develop these characters?
Well, when I read the script, what happens is something that's really good, a work of art, doesn't really sit in the genre and become, the genre is not the entertainment. Did any of you here see the Joy Luck Club? Okay, that's a masterpiece of a movie. And about a third of the way through it, I thought I was watching my Italian aunts and uncles. Because something human goes far beyond the genre. This isn't really a genre picture, it's not a mafia movie, it's a post-mafia tale, if you will. And I, as you know, played 7 or 8 of these characters to some, I guess, some sort of negative acclaim. But the fact of the matter is, my family is noble. Our coat of arms was back in the 12th century. And I have nothing to do with this kind of person. People think that's what I am. But in point of fact, I'm an opera singer, I'm a poet, I'm a sculptor, I'm a best-selling author, I'm a director, I'm an actor. But the point, I only make this point because when you ask about developing the character, the important thing to developing any character is to see the humanity in that character. Or in the case of Evil People, the inhumanity, which I have not, I've only played one of those, I never did it again. It's not pleasant for me, and it's not pleasant for the audience. They don't like to see me in that. They don't like to see me in weak roles, and they don't like to see me in nasty roles. So I played it twice, never did it again. But when you see these people, it's a father-daughter story, if you will. This is not really a post-mafia picture. So when you say develop the character, there wasn't much character to develop because it was all on the page. We didn't have to develop anything. There was no big exterior. I didn't speak quite as well as I do in the picture. I suppose not in such an educated manner, even though my education is ragtag and autodidact. But in my day there was no money for school, so my brother got all of it. It's primogeniture. We put him through college and then med school and all the rest of it. So, but my brother Bill and I, we were the Cinderella kid. Both of us were Cinderella when he was one of the evil sisters, but he wasn't evil. He was a good guy. So the point is, you know, in Goodfellas, it was more of a character search because it had to be someone who had an awful lot of lethality, which I don't have as part of my personality, I thought, until I worked on it and I saw that we all have it. But developing the character was all about a fish out of water. He enters an elevator that isn't there, and his whole world drops from under him. He has no way to exist. He says, I don't know if I can make it. He says to his old friend, the lawyer, he doesn't know if he can make it. I don't know if I can make it out here. And he's being honest. And of course, it's also a father-son thing. My son actually plays a doctor, Dr. Shapiro, that's my son. But Michael Rappaport, it's really a father and son relationship, and it's a family. So the character was really, I must give more credit to Dave than to myself of developing the character, because the character was already on the page. And I just...
You know what's funny is I almost like take the fact that from Goodfellas when you did Paulie, and it's
I only
almost
play
like
parts
an ironic thing that he comes out of jail after 18 years, and it's almost like, even though it's not the same character, it's like you coming out of jail, like you come out and you're like,
in a way,
this is what happens after the fact.
It's interesting because all actors, you and I and everybody, every other actor, especially if you're in front of the public at all, we come with a certain amount of baggage. It's either good or bad or both. And you can't escape the fact that if you see Carol Burnett in a drama, it's hard to get over that, you know. You're still seeing her do those marvelous sketches that she did with that great cast of characters she had. And when people see me, because of the biggest successes I've had, I guess, were in these movies where I've done so many movies. I've done over 155 movies, so and most of my characters, many of them are comedy movies, and so people don't know that. But this is kind of, you want to look at it that way, it could be looked at.
You know
what happened to Paulie after he got out of jail?
But that's the thing, it's like, you've done so much marvelous stuff, but it's like, ironically, that this
is the stuff that people see me as, and it's interesting. I'm the polar opposite of the character, but that's what they see me as. So. And I know how to do it. Anybody got a problem with that? Because I'm not going to ask you again. I asked you one time. I have a friend who actually, he's a dear friend, he's a locksmith in Pennsylvania. He looks like a bear. And he carries his hands like this. He worked on safes, not a safe cracker, but a locksmith and a very talented guy. And he looks like a bear, and he uses his hands like a bear. And he asks people. No, I asked him already. And he's a diamond in the rough because he's not at all stupid, he's smart. But sometimes I pick up things like that when I have to do a character. I'll use a little, but I didn't use X in this picture. It was a little more elevated. Yes, Ryan.
No, it's your turn.
No, I was just going to say it was the most unbelievable performance, I thought, as far as when I was working on the film, nobody knew what was going to happen, nobody knew what was going to become of it, but it's like after you saw the end result, it was just so unbelievable, the performance that Paul Sorvino put through, and there's nothing really I can say about it besides that. It's like, it's unbelievable. It was very impressive, and involved in it. A very rewarding experience, and I've worked with Paul before, but
yeah,
it just shows like how good. Like
I was playing a very different kind of character.
Yes.
I was playing a union leader of many of 1920s. Yes, old my men.
But you know, there was. I don't know what else to say. Thank you, Paul, and thank you for everybody in the whole crew and cast. And I wish everybody else was here as well. I mean, nobody knows who I am, but I'm the deli guy.
You play one hell of a deli guy. And I mean, like you were saying, I think it is a testament to David's writing and David's directing, and like it's unfortunately couldn't be here, but I mean, it's the whole collaboration, you know, the process.
Well, I'll talk a little about my relationship with David.
Yeah, absolutely.
We had worked together on Mineville that Billy and I had done.
Yeah,
and upstate New York, and we had an affinity with one another right away. We had a simpatico too right away, and he and I, in a certain sense, you know, I worked with Scorsese, as everybody knows, in Goodfellas, and he and Bobby De Niro have this kind of thing where they hardly talk. We just kind of make faces at each other. Oh, I have to do Bobby. I have to do my friend. He's not gone now. You know, the great comedian impressionist. He did Bobby De Niro praying. I have to do that for you. Ready? Now I lay me down to sleep. I pray the Lord my soul to keep. If I die before I wake. If I die before I wake. I have to do Stallone, and Stallone were a car on a cold morning. More comedian than serious actor.
I think it's time to open it up to you guys.
You can't take it. You can't take the gap. It's enough now.
Oh, it's killing me. Yes.
You know, you've done just multiple of films. At what point in your career did you go, oh, shoot, I love this acting, man.
Oh, when I was 4. I knew I was going to be an actor when I was 4 years old.
4 years old.
Yes, because